When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening, downloading, and subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Check this out. On this podcast, we're going to talk about the characteristics of an annoying coworker. Now, if you've been around or you worked for a while, I'm pretty sure you've probably encountered one or two coworkers who just were extremely annoying for no apparent reason. I mean, like those people that just literally get under your skin and irk you. Maybe not intentional, but they do. And I came to this idea to do this podcast the other day. I was chopping it up on Twitter with my man King Germ from the Frocast podcast. Shout out to King Germ and Queen Germ over at nappyafro.com. Make sure that you check out their podcast, Dope Weekly Podcast. Those are my folks. And Germ was telling me about, one of his coworkers who was just being annoying for no apparent reason and just, annoying him really before he could even get the day started. I mean, like there's some people that can work your last nerve, like before you even sit down and have a cup of coffee. Before you even open up your emails, they're at your desk, they're in your face, asking you questions like, dude, let me get a second to breathe, please. So yeah, after having that conversation with Germ, it just got me to thinking about, talking about coworkers. Now, if you follow the podcast, you know that I did a podcast on, a toxic work environment. So there's some similarities, but I think with the annoying coworkers, it could be toxic. But more than anything, they just do things just to irk you and things that just really get under your skin. And I'm going to talk about these things on this podcast. Now, we'll say this. I would hope that the things that I have listed here that the annoying coworkers do, that you don't do any of them. If you do some of these things, you might be the one. You might be the one. So, I guess I probably should start. And these are in no particular order. Some things I jotted down. An annoying characteristic of an annoying coworker. Showing up late for work. It goes without saying, the professional thing is to show up on time. And while it's understood that from time to time people will be late, myself included, as long as it's not something daily. If you have to be at work at 8 o'clock and you get there at 8:05, I don't think that's that big of a deal. If you have to be at work at 8 o'clock and you get there at 8:15, personally, I don't think that's I don't think that's a big deal. If you have to be at work at 8 o'clock and you get there at 8:45, that could be an issue. But I think the biggest thing is that those who are showing up late for work perpetually every day. And, generally speaking, what happens is that if you're late for work, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be late for the meetings, and you're probably going to be late for whatever other things that you have to do. And more often than not, your timing or lack thereof also affects your coworkers. Now, if you showing up at 8:30 doesn't affect your coworkers or anything, things that have to get done, and that's cool. That's different. But more often than not, those who are perpetually late, their promptness or lack thereof has something to do with their coworkers as well. So, if you're not at work on time, then whatever I need to get from you on this project, I have to wait because you ain't here. So, that's a characteristic of an annoying coworker, someone who shows up late for work. Another one, and again, these are in no particular order. Calling out sick when you really ain't sick. This one happens a lot. And as I was looking through this list, I can't really say that I had a lot of annoying coworkers. I did have one at the last job where I worked, and this was one of her big things. Actually, the first two things that I listed, showing up late and calling out sick. I mean, like, she wasn't sick. I mean, like, I'll give you an example. Like, and I wasn't Facebook friends with her, but I remember one particular time where it was a Friday, we went to work Friday at the weekend, and Monday she called out sick saying she was sick. And then she posted something, one of my coworkers who were Facebook friends with her, she posted something on Facebook later that day, talking about she was having fun at the beach. I mean, I don't know how that's possible to, if you're sick, I would guess that if you're sick, you probably shouldn't be, or at least if you tell your employer that you're sick, you probably shouldn't be posting something on social media indicating that you're not. Maybe that's just me, but hey, but yeah, I think that in particular, especially when it affects your coworkers in the fact that, let's say something can't get done, or let's say whatever work that you were supposed to do that particular day now gets turned over to me or someone else, and I know you ain't sick. Yeah, that's a problem. Another annoying thing that annoying coworkers do, eating smelly food at your desk. Now, most places, at least that I've worked, have had a break room, someplace where, or a cafeteria, someplace where it's designed for you to eat. If you're in a situation where, your line of work is very, I guess, hectic, maybe you don't have time to sit in the cafeteria or have time to sit in the break room. Maybe you just got to eat lunch at your desk and keep it moving and work through lunch, basically. I mean, and in theory, you're supposed to have, an hour break, or, depending on your, I guess, job structure, at the very least a half hour break. But yeah, I mean, so I would love to, have lunch in the cafeteria or the break room. But, sometimes if you got to keep working, you got to keep working. And so it's going to be basically you eating at your desk. However, you have to be mindful of the foods that you're consuming at your desk. You got to really eat lunch at your own peril. And the reason being is that if you're messy, you could drop crumbs and everything else, but also, the smell of whatever it is you're eating. I remember working at this one company and somebody had some fish. Man, and when I tell you that was the stinkiest fish I've ever smelled in my life. And not only did they warm it up in the microwave, but they brought it to their desk. And so the whole office smelled like fish, like stink ass fish. And so that wasn't cool at all. And, we weren't happy about that. So yeah, be mindful of, things like fish, hard-boiled eggs, Brussels sprouts, for those of you communist people who eat Brussels sprouts, onions, garlic, tuna salad, stinky cheese, just to name a few. I mean, those things should not be consumed at your desk. So you have to, be mindful of that as you move forward. because that's not something that you want your coworkers to smell. The next thing that is a characteristic of an annoying coworker, and I guess it goes without saying, but just someone who's just negative all the time. That is one of the quickest things to, bring down office morale or company morale. It's just negative people. I've never been a fan of people who close the door before you can open it. And I'm still not. Everything. I don't think anybody at work is going to ask you, and it doesn't matter what your job is, but I don't think anybody at work is going to ask you to do something that you can't do. They're asking you to do it for a reason, because they feel as though you can do it. Even if you're an open heart surgeon, they're not going to ask you to, work on someone's brain. If your job is heart surgery, then that's what you're there for. They're not going to ask you to cut open a brain and work on it. The complaining and the being negative all the time. And I get it. Sometimes people can get frustrated, but at the same time, you don't necessarily want to hear, at least I know I can speak for myself. I don't want to hear that. Just all the time being negative. To me, that just, I don't really want that around me. It's that is very toxic, I think. Another characteristic, being a slob. Now, I understand that, sometimes when you work and if your job involves a lot of paperwork, it's understood sometimes if you have papers everywhere. I have papers and pamphlets and, meeting notes and my own notes about a lot of stuff, reports on my desk. I try to put everything in a neatly stacked area before I leave, for the day or whatever like that. But I will say this much, even on my desk, I can tell you where everything is. So it's not like I got stuff just thrown everywhere, but I've walked past people's desks who, they got stuff everywhere. They got, they've eaten at their desk. So some of the papers and reports have grease stains on them and all kind of stuff like that. So just being a slob, and that doesn't necessarily just go for your desk. That also goes for, if you're eating in your kitchen or break room or cafeteria. Keep in mind that there's no one there to clean up behind you. So I know a lot of times I've been at companies where, people will bring their bring their food to work, and, they put it in the refrigerator and subsequently leave the food in the refrigerator and never eat it. And then the email has to go out to the company saying, hey, we're going to clean the refrigerators out. If you've got food in here, throw it out or take it home with you, whatever the case may be. That's just being a slob, man. You're at work. It's a professional environment. No one is there to pick up behind you. We're not for. So don't be a slob. The next thing I had written down here is the post-meeting know-it-all. You ever go into a meeting and you meet and your superiors or your whomever is conducting the meeting's adjourned. Well, actually, before the meeting's adjourned, they ask questions. Hey, anybody got any questions? Nobody says nothing. Or this particular coworker sits silently, right? As soon as the meeting is over, they go into their little spiel as they're walking back to their desk. Oh, well, I should have done. We should do it this way, and I wouldn't have done it that way. I wouldn't have said that. I can't believe that. I'm like, bro, you just had the floor to say whatever it is. If they said something to piss you off, you should have said something then. Don't come back to your desk and be Monday morning quarterback. Nobody wants to hear that. So, yeah, I'm not really a fan of the post-meeting know-it-all, the person who knows everything and has all of the ideas. But, when they had a chance to share those ideas, they didn't have anything to say, which leads me into my next characteristic. Just people who act like they know it all. Like that is one of the most annoying characteristics from an annoying coworker. The person who acts like they know everything. I mean, those are the ones that, let's say your supervisor said something and then they piggyback with a comment, or they're always looking to correct or outdo someone. It ain't a competition. I mean, depending on the line of work, even in most lines of work, it's not a competition in the office. You'll be judged and graded on your merits of what you do, and you go from there. But you ain't in competition with the person next to you. Now, some people like to get in there and kiss ass. That ain't never been my steez, but hey, if that's what you do, knock yourself out. But I won't kiss ass. I am not licking no boots. I'm not doing none of that. I'm going to do my job and, go home. That's it. But yeah, the people who know it all. And there's some people, some coworkers, and I'm pretty sure that all of you listening are nodding in agreement, who, no matter where you work, know it all. I mean, like, they know everything. It could be McDonald's and they could tell you about the fries and why the fries should be at this degrees because blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Another annoying trait that coworkers have. Bragging to your coworkers. I get it. When we do things, we're happy, we're proud, we want people to know what it is that we do or what the people around us have done. There's a difference between celebrating and bragging, right? And it's funny because the coworker that says that, I'm not bragging, y'all are just hating. Those are the ones that you really have to look out for. But, yeah, I mean, I get it. You do something and you want to share your accomplishments. I get it. But you can get to the point where oversharing is just too much. You're just, oh man, I did and everything that you've done is just like the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not. But if you go on and on telling everyone and everybody that walks by whatever you did, if you speaking in a loud tone to the point where people even outside of your office can hear you, if you speak in a tone of like superiority, if you feel the need to put people down and point out other people's failures, if you fail to say thank you when congratulated, and if you embellish your story or AKA lie, then you're bragging. You're bragging. I know a cat who, this dude talks so much. I mean, his favorite word is I. I mean, like, let him tell it. Other than his mother giving birth to him, nobody else did anything for him. He did it all himself, which is not possible. But people like that, they're annoying. They really, really are. Another characteristic of an annoying coworker: grooming yourself at your desk. This could be tricky and very problematic. I stop short of criticizing women for doing their hair at their desk. Because, I get it. If you're at your desk and you want to look a certain way, you touching up your hair or putting on lip gloss or lipstick, I don't have a problem with that. But you can't have, your full beauty and makeup kit at your desk. You can't do your hair at your desk. You can't brush your teeth at your desk. And then also grooming has something to do with, how your clothes look. You can't be sloppy, your clothes falling off you and everything like that. And I understand too, when it comes to if you work in a place that has a dress code and then, you have quote unquote casual Fridays. I've seen casual Fridays been, pretty lenient some places. I mean, to the point where I work for one company where casual Fridays, like people would come in flip flops. I'm like, come on, bro. You really flip flops? Really? Is that what we're doing? Like flip flops and shorts on casual Fridays, that's a bit much. We are professionals. Now, if it's, if you live somewhere warm in like Florida or someplace like that, and then they're okay with it, that's different. But nah, bruh. I mean, nah. And it goes without saying, but you probably should shower before you come to work. I mean, that would help. If you have body odor, that's a problem. That is a huge problem. Another trait for annoying coworkers: discussing your personal problems. Let me speak for the people when I say, we don't care. Because we don't. We don't care. We don't care about your ex. We don't care about, your baby daddy and not paying child support. We don't care. We don't care about, what happened with your cousin TT and, why Rufus ran off with, your mom's boyfriend. We don't care. We don't care about your ongoing divorce. We don't care. We just don't. And so I think you have to keep this stuff at a minimum. I've always been a firm believer, like, my personal life is my personal life. If you ask me questions, I'm going to give you just the basic general stuff. I'm going to tell you, yes, I'm married. I have 3 sons and a daughter. If you ask specific questions about, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, yeah, just kicked it with the family. I mean, that's what I'm going to give you. I'm not going to, if I'm cool with you, I might tell you, yeah, we went to see, Endgame or something like that. But I'm going to give you just the basic, because I'm not there to be your friend. Now, I will say this, and I mentioned this on previous podcasts, that if you become friends with someone at work, that's cool. But I generally view my coworkers just as that. We're coworkers. I'm not really going, with most of them, I'm not going to kick it with them outside of work. So that's that. So again, personal problems, we don't care. We really don't. I mean, and that helps some people be nosy, but nah, we don't care. And I've been very cautious about asking questions to some coworkers, because even at like my current job, I remember asking this woman one question, and she proceeded to tell me about, her ex, and I didn't necessarily need to hear about her ex, but she went on, and I mean, like, what probably should have been, a 30-second conversation turned into a 7-8 minute conversation with me just sitting there nodding. And she told me about the breakup and how she couldn't find anybody else, and not a lot of good men out here. And I was like, bruh, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you for all of that. I didn't ask you for a dissertation. Chill, B. But I'm nice, so I had to kind of dead the conversation and head back to my desk. But yeah, we don't care. We really don't. Another annoying habit of annoying coworkers, talking about political issues. I get it to a degree in this climate that we're in, with the occupant of the White House being where he is, and just really the BS that we see every day on social media and on TV. I understand why it would trigger some people to talk, but I think that's a slippery slope, because one thing I found is that people are genuinely interested in what you have to say about political issues, as long as they are in line with theirs. When your ideas and thoughts aren't in line with the people that you're speaking with, then it's a problem. So I just avoid talking politics. If you follow this podcast, there's 1, maybe 2 episodes of this podcast about politics, or at least references politics. And to be honest, most of you that come to listen to this podcast, you don't come here for that. I mean, if you wanted to get a take on something, you can go to CNN. You don't have to come for me. But at work, it's a slippery slope. I would probably avoid it at all possibilities. Another thing, and I kind of touched on it a little earlier, just being nosy. That's annoying as hell. I mean, like, when you ask a bunch of questions, are you really asking because you're generally concerned, or are you just being nosy? And like, I get curiosity, but being nosy is something totally different. Stay in your lane, man. Mind your own business. Mind your own damn business, and we'll all be a whole lot better off. Another annoying trait from annoying coworkers. People who sell stuff, right? I didn't come to work to be solicited. I get it. Your daughter selling Girl Scout cookies. Okay, cool. The problem is not only is she selling Girl Scout cookies, but the lady in the other department is selling Girl Scout cookies, and the secretary, her daughter, selling Girl Scout cookies, and the manager, his son, is selling candy bars for his baseball team. Nah, man. And I get it. You spend 8 hours with someone every day at work. So, you spend more time at work than you spend at home. So that part of it, I get. So there's levels of comfort, and it's easier to sell a candy bar to me because we work together than it would be to approach someone on the street. That being said, don't sell me nothing. Because I'm not buying it. And I made it a habit not to buy stuff from coworkers, because it's just, I've seen a couple of cases where stuff just didn't go well, and I don't want that. I don't want those problems. I just don't. The next one is self-explanatory, and I talked about it in the toxic episode. Getting drunk on the job. I mean, come on, bro. Nobody should be getting drunk at work. Now, I will say this. Where it becomes tricky is when your coworkers, or if your company does a outing and it involves, people going out to eat or out to dinner and consuming alcohol. Most people that I know, drink. Even if they don't drink a lot, they drink. So I've always been like very cautious about drinking around coworkers, because I've seen people drink, and then, they always say liquor is the truth serum. The truth comes out. And so, I'm not a fan of drinking around my coworkers. I remember we went, one company I was with, we went to a Braves baseball game, and I hate the Braves, but that's another story for another day. But I just remember catching the bus, and we were all on the bus, and like, it was people that were drinking before we even got to the stadium, and it was some other people. And then so your coworkers start looking around at you, because now they're getting to see you in a social light, particularly if you don't kick it with them like that on the regular. They see you in a social light, and they may look at you a little different, and you may say some things that you probably ordinarily wouldn't say, right? So yeah, I don't do the drinking with the coworkers. Nah, never. That's never been my. I don't kick it like that. I just don't. Another trait, commenting on someone's appearance. I've found that normally those who do a lot of commenting on someone else's appearance generally don't look that good. And I'm going to leave that at that. So you could do with that what you want. Another annoying characteristic from an annoying coworker. Making personal calls all day long. Now, listen, I get it. Things happen. You have to talk to your spouse. For the most part, me and my wife, we will contact each other via text. If she needs me to do something, or if I need to do something, whatever the case may be. If she calls, she'll call me on my cell phone. And then in my company, we actually have a room where you can actually go and take personal calls and stuff like that. So that's cool. I've been in other places where it wasn't as big. So if you took a personal call or you took a call at your desk on your cell phone, whatever the case may be, it was at your desk, and basically, at the very least, your coworkers could hear your side of the conversation. So that became very tricky. And I'll give you an example. Like the one company that I work for, I had a coworker who she just, it was personal calls all day long. And a lot of times it was between her and her husband. And, her and her husband were going through some things. And, she got upset with her husband, and her husband got upset with her. And it all came to a head when she slept with her husband's best friend. She slept with her husband's best friend, and her husband called her on her cell phone and told her that he was going to come to her job and kill her. Problem is, we were at work. So now at this point, we have to go into Operation Lockdown because we don't know if this guy is going to come in here and spray up the place. That was not cool at all. So yeah, to say that we were upset with her that's a huge understatement. Now we were, I guess, sympathetic to her domestic situation, but the fact that your husband posed that threat, and I gotta watch my back, that ain't cool. So cooler heads prevailed. They ended up getting a divorce, and she ended up getting fired and running off with the boyfriend, the best friend, who became her boyfriend. Weird, I know. But yeah, personal calls all day long. Yeah, keep that at a minimum, man. Keep that at a minimum. Another thing that is annoying, obnoxious email habits. Typing in all caps, making something urgent, or at least sound urgent when it's really not. And one of the things that I found to be extremely annoying, particularly, and I've had this happen at several companies that I work for, someone sends something out, and let's say they send in an error, and then you hit reply all. Or you send out a joke, or let's say someone sends out a joke, and then they hit reply all, and they're replying to everybody. And then so you keep having these reply all emails, and then the people are saying, okay, well, hey, stop sending these emails. And when they're saying stop sending these emails, they're hitting reply all. So in essence, they're still doing the same thing that they're telling the person who originated the email not to do. And that's extremely annoying. Just an obnoxious emails, that type of thing is very annoying. And, I think one of the things that is also extremely annoying that, your coworkers could do would be to, judge your colleagues really harshly. I think that's tough because no one's perfect. Some people can get in and do the job and do it to the best of their abilities. And, others maybe aren't as good or aren't as fast or maybe aren't as efficient, but they're still good and a still valued asset nonetheless. But man, you get some people, man, they get on they get on a little moral high horse, and they are just so judgmental about everything. That doesn't make for a good work environment. That could actually make things very toxic. And the last thing is that I have written down here is also annoying coworkers do that can also be very toxic is berating, a subordinate in front of other people. One thing you have to keep in mind is that at the end of the day, we're adults, right? So there's only but so much that you can do, and there's only but so much that you can say. And honestly, there's only but so much that you should say, right? When you're talking to someone, because you're talking to an adult. I remember, I'll say it. I was working at Wells Fargo. I was contracting, and my supervisor had told this guy named Tony not to do something or whatever. And Tony did it, and he did it like twice, right? And so the third time, because basically what happened was he was finishing his work, or he had to send out this report basically at the end of his work being completed. And he sent the report before the work was actually completed. And he did that a couple of times, and, the supervisor warned Tony about it. Well, this particular time, he sent the report and the work had not been done, and there was someone that intercepted and needed something from him. And then when they got the report, and then they were like, okay, well, this thing is done, but it really wasn't done. It wasn't even started. Some of the work had not even been started. It made, the company look bad, I guess. And, so the manager came in and he stands over Tony's desk and he's like, Tony, and he's yelling at the top of his lungs, I told you not to do this. This is the last time that you've done that. I cannot believe you've done this. You know what? Get your stuff and you're getting out of here. And I mean, so he was firing Tony. So I mean, it was tough to see Tony get fired. And, I guess they had a reason to fire Tony. But to stand over a man with your arms folded, yelling in his face at the top of your lungs to where everybody on the floor could see and hear what was going on, and then you made him pack up his stuff and put it in a little box. Nah, bruh. Even as wrong as Tony was, the only thing I would have said was, you know what? You get off at 5 o'clock, right? I'll see you outside because I'm going to kick your ass. Or I might not have even waited till 5 o'clock. I might really. And I'm trying to paint this picture of him standing over Tony and yelling in his face. And given the fact that the manager was white and Tony was black, that was just an extra dynamic that really the optics of it looked really, really bad, right? I'm surprised that Tony didn't get up and swing on him. I mean, maybe Tony, kind of saw going to court, going to jail, but I think I would have sacrificed that just to whoop his ass. Because you just don't talk to another grown man like that. I mean, he literally was talking to Tony as if he was a 5-year-old. And I've seen parents not even break 5-year-olds like that. I mean, at the top of your lungs. I mean, he could have called Tony into the office. Hey, man, look, this is what happened. This is the third time we told you not to do it again, and we got to let you go. But I mean, to do it like that, nah, I would have kicked your ass, bro. So, yeah, those are just a few of the things that I had written down. Things, traits and characteristics of an annoying coworker. Like I said at the top, hopefully you're not on this list as far as doing some of these things. And if I said some things that you can say, you can raise your hand and say, yeah, I do those things. Stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for checking out the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy, 12 Kyle. I'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.
When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. When you manage procurement for multiple facilities, every order matters. But when it's for a hospital system, they matter even more. Grainger gets it and knows there's no time for managing multiple suppliers and no room for shipping delays. That's why Grainger offers millions of products in fast, dependable delivery, so you can keep your facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.